I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep Running Your Mouth. That's what I do.
I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire, and we gotta lock it up, I'm out on top.
Hey, look, as you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fucked solid up, man. You know what I'm saying? To the fans that know.
Do that job outside the ring. I'm a fighter. Like I said before, ain't no safety on the clock, so I'm ready.
I'll take them how they come and make them look ordinary.
When I was a casual, I thought as a casual, I spoke like a casual, and I looked at boxing like a casual. But when I became a hardcore, I put away all those casual things. This is Michael Rogers, and welcome to Bodywork Boxing. What's going on? I'm Michael Rogers, and welcome to Bodywork Boxing. And this lovely morning, man, after a beautiful evening of boxing, some very strange things, some peculiar things, some good things, some commonly known things. No, but all in all, I say that a dark horse came closer to the light. A dark horse is rising in Vergil Ortiz. You know, and I had said, you know, in a couple videos ago, I said that Vergil is a dark horse in the 147 division. And some of the things that I don't think really gets highlighted is that he too has a father that is led and groomed his career. And I think one of the things that is very, very evident about how he's managed and how they're moving him is that Vergil is ascending. His father's not as vocal. You know, I watched, several interviews about how they're all about respect. And, you know, that's why they wanted a challenge in Aegis, taking on Aegis. They said he was very respectful, but they said that he had power. You know, they were full of compliments. It was nothing but respect, even in the, you know, conference leading up to it, you know. Very, very respectful, you know, a good venue. And I think this fight was the highlight of my evening. You know, it was a lot of other fights that was going on. I'll get into it in my other video. But this one is specifically about Vergil and how I believe that he is the dark horse that's rising, getting closer in the light and starting to shine more and more. You know, it was something that was going on earlier this week. I saw an interview on Barbershop, and it was with Bob. And, you know, Bob had basically laid out there that Vergil had actually turned down the Crawford fight.
I think at the beginning, it was because Porter was not the number one contender. I think Vergil Ortiz was the number one contender.
Yeah, they flip-flopped. They flip-flopped at some point last year. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then when he elected to fight Kavaliskas, they moved Porter up to the contender, but they offered the fight to Ortiz.
So, you know, I wanted to touch on that leading up to the fight, but then I saw some things where Vergil in the pre-fight press conference, the question about Crawford came up, and he basically was like, look, you know what I'm saying, this is for anybody who's getting ready to ask me questions. I'm not taking Crawford questions.
Fans, and I know it's no disrespect to you, but look, you're not looking past an opponent. But do you get tired of hearing that? And I gotta ask that, so don't hit me.
I do get tired of it. I just feel like they're trying to push a narrative right now. I'm just focusing on Aegis right now. This is the fight that I want to focus on. I'm talking to an interviewer that I'm going to be talking to in a few minutes. Don't ask me about Crawford and Spence, because that's not the fight that we're worried about right now. We're worried about this one.
You know, He did a whole interview like that, and I said, well, maybe Vergil came into this fight with a chip on his shoulder. You know, because right in the post-fight, after he got done, doing his business, handling his business against Aegis, in the post-fight conference, he said it's a lot of, explicatives going on in the sport of boxing right now, and I don't know, so it kind of led, it was geared towards him fighting one of the champions, but his perspective is like at this point in time, all of the champions have a legit excuse why the fight between him and Vergil can't happen. He cited that Terrence and Sean were in negotiations, going through their thing. He said that Manny and Ugas have to dance, and that Earl had to step away for his injury. So that's why a fight between them can't happen. But I've been seeing Vergil's stock rise. I think this man with 18-0 with 18 stoppages. I believe that's what it is. But I believe that the young man has his ceiling is pretty high. He has a pretty high ceiling. And I think that he's actually doing great work in pursuing what he says, because you have Bob's words versus Vergil's actions. And just like how Gary Antoine, went out and dispatched of Santiago in pursuit of Broner after Broner had a controversial decision over Santiago, Vergil has just demonstrated that he is a force to be reckoned with.
I'll take them how they come and make them look ordinary.
He went after Aegis, who was the second to last opponent of Terrence Crawford, in pursuit of Terrence Crawford. So I would have to lean in the direction that that Vergil is in pursuit of Terrence Crawford. I'm not sure if I believe he turned it down. I don't know if it was the timing, or they were saying, hey, we got to do this, we got to do that. I don't know if it was the move of the mandatory or the positioning, for that WBI. I don't know what it was. But it's showing that his actions are showing that he wants that big, he won a chance, he won a title shot. And it's going to be pretty hard to deny him. After this next round of all the champions making their rounds, and, these fights, the boxing gods actually allow these fights to go through, I think Vergil's actually going to get his shot. People were saying he got hurt early. He got caught early, you know what I'm saying? But he was like, he basically said, I don't think that I was as hurt as everybody thought I was. So he didn't deny that he was hurt, but he was saying that, don't exaggerate how hurt he was, but all in all, what he did was he showed that he can bite down on his gum shield. He shows that he does have a chin. He shows that he's relentless. My nickname for him is the Piranha, because when he smell blood, he gonna get it done. And he showed I think he showed a good amount of upper body mobility, because he got the way he bends and he shoots his jab, and they kept talking about the shotgun jab. He has a very hard, stiff, quick, short range jab when he gets in position and he knows his range. He has pretty long arms and he's pretty tall, which I think is another thing that people overlook, his actual size. I think that that's going to present a lot of people problems, because he actually has a chin, and when he wants to exchange with you, he's willing to gamble that what he got is going to come back harder and stronger than what you got. And sometimes he got a propensity to kind of try to want to go to war real quick, but he has showed a lot of patience. He used that jab. He was relentless to the body, and that's he had my attention. I love a beautiful body puncher who does good body work, and that was I believe that was the key, because he stopped him to the body. I mean, he knocked him down to the body. and he basically hit him with a barrage of punches. He knocked him down several times. And people are making a lot of hoopla about the fact that he actually stopped him in 8 rounds. So he stopped him faster than Bud. But I think Vergil put the boxing world on notice. He headlined the card. He had a good camp. His fight went through. He didn't get knocked out for COVID or injury this time. Even though last time he had COVID, he soldiered through that fight too. So I think he's making his bones at 47. And I think that it's not like people are going to be able to just shoot him away. So my question is, since Manny's tied up now, since Earl is recovering, and Sean and Bud are talking, should we see him in boots? We know what Marination is doing, in our boxing culture, but should we get a Vergil against Boots? And I think that's, before this fight, I kind of was leaning towards 55-45 in favor of Boots. But the guy Ant on the Porter's Way podcast, he basically said that you heard it here first, Boots will wash Vergil. And I said, I could see winning, but I mean, you said wash. I was like, I don't really see wash, but can you explain? I didn't really get a response because I like to see I like to see and hear different perspectives, but I think that's a true 50-50 fight. That's a true 50-50 fight. They're both young. They both are relentless. I believe that the edge I would give is that Boots is like dangerously accurate, like up close. Sometimes it looks like he almost just can't miss. The only thing is, I think that Vergil has enough upper body mobility to be able to like just skinny some of them punches, and what he's coming back with would be devastating. And that we've never really seen. I haven't really seen Boots get really rocked. I seen Mean Machine. Lipinets. He tagged him a couple times, but I'm talking about with the kind of force that Vergil throw with bad intentions. So I think that fight is just I say, man, I guess as far as the big fights, man, in order to get them, we just gotta book them. Because right now, I think aside from belts and championships and all the weight that's on that, I think that now it's like, well, if you get a good fight, the trend is trilogy. Or run it back, rematch, trilogy, whatever. So that's my question. Can we ask, as boxing fans, can we responsibly ask for Vergil and Boots next? Can we get them to do that now? That's my question. Body work.
Is this not why you are here?
My word, I do what I do. He knows what I'm about to tell him right now. It's Mr. Keep running your mouth. That's what I do.
I just feel like I'm the champ, and at the end of the day, I'm just a fighting motherfucker. It doesn't matter. Inside, outside, I can just fight. So I just feel like if it gets down to the wire, we gotta lock it up, I'm out on top.
Hey, look, as you can see how I'm looking, I stay solid. I'm always solid. I stay fuck solid up, right? You know what I'm saying? To the fans and all.
Do that job outside the ring. I'm a fighter. Like I said before, ain't no safety on the clock, so I'm gonna go.